Imagine someone handing you a map. Not a map to a city or a country, but a map to financial freedom. Most people never get this map. They spend their whole lives working hard, earning decent money, and still ending up with almost nothing at the end. Not because they were lazy, not because they were unlucky, but because nobody ever told them the rules. The 7 rules that quietly separate people who build real wealth from people who stay stuck forever. Today, that changes for you. Welcome to Money Mentor, the place where your relationship with money gets a permanent upgrade. Today, we are walking through the 7 rules of wealth management that most people never learn until it is far too late. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we publish videos that are designed to change the way you think, the way you earn, and the way you grow your money. This channel could be the most valuable thing you stumble upon this year. Do not let that go to waste. Now, let me tell you about a man named Daniel. Daniel was 32 years old, working a decent job, making around $50,000 a year. By most people's standards, Daniel was doing fine. He had a car, a nice apartment, a good social life. He would go out on weekends, upgrade his phone every 2 years, take a vacation once a year, and basically live a comfortable, normal life. From the outside, everything looked great. But Daniel had a secret. He had almost nothing saved. After every month, after paying rent, car payments, subscriptions, dining out, and all the small daily purchases that add up quietly, Daniel had maybe $50 to $100 left over, sometimes less, sometimes nothing. He was earning $50,000 a year and living paycheck to paycheck, just like millions of other people who look perfectly fine on the outside, but are financially one emergency away from disaster.
Then one day, something happened that shook Daniel's world. His colleague, Marcus, retired at 45. Not because Marcus inherited money, not because Marcus started a tech company. Marcus just knew the rules. He had learned them in his 20s, applied them quietly for 20 years, and now, at 45, he was done working forever, living off investments that paid him every single month without him lifting a finger. Daniel sat across from Marcus at the farewell party holding his drink and asked the question that changed his life. He said, "Marcus, how did you actually do it?" And Marcus smiled and said, "I just followed the rules." Daniel spent the next year learning everything Marcus knew. This video is what Daniel learned. These are the 7 rules. Rule number 1 is know the difference between your income and your wealth. This sounds obvious, but almost nobody truly understands it at a deep level. Income is the money that flows into your life. Wealth is what stays. Most people chase income their entire lives. They want a raise, they want a promotion, they want a higher salary. And that makes sense because more money coming in feels like progress. But here is the brutal truth. If your expenses grow every time your income grows, you will never build wealth, no matter how much you earn. There is a famous concept called lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most dangerous financial forces in modern life. Every time Daniel got a raise at work, he upgraded something. New car, nicer apartment, better vacations. His income grew by 20% over 5 years, but his net worth barely moved because his spending grew right alongside it. Wealth is not about how much you make. Wealth is about the gap between what you make and what you spend, and how intelligently you invest that gap. Marcus understood this from the beginning. Every raise he ever got, he treated it like it never happened for spending purposes. He kept his lifestyle steady and pushed the extra money straight into investments. That gap, that discipline, that is where wealth is actually born. Rule number 2 is pay yourself first and make it automatic. Here's how most people handle money. They get paid, they pay their bills, they spend on food, entertainment, and daily life, and then at the end of the month, if anything is left, they save it. This method fails almost every single time, because life always finds a way to consume whatever is available. The correct method, the method that actually builds wealth, is to flip that order completely. When you get paid, the very first transaction that happens is money moving into your savings or investment account. Before rent, before groceries, before anything. You pay yourself first, and then you live on whatever is left. And the most powerful version of this is making it automatic so you never even have to think about it. You never see the money sitting in your checking account tempting you to spend it. It just moves. It goes to work. It starts growing. Financial experts often talk about saving at least 20% of your income, but even starting with 10% and automating it completely is transformational compared to the average person saving nothing. Daniel set up an automatic transfer of $300 every payday. Not a huge amount, but in 1 year, that was over $7,000 sitting and growing in an account he barely thought about. Automation removes willpower from the equation, and willpower is unreliable. Automation is not.
Rule number 3 is understand the power of compound interest like your life depends on it. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he truly said it or not, the math behind it is genuinely staggering. Here's a simple example. If you invest $10,000 at an average annual return of 8% and never touch it, after 10 years you have around $21,000. After 20 years, you have around $46,000. After 30 years, you have just over $100,000. You put in $10,000 and time turned it into $100,000 without you doing anything else. Now imagine instead of $10,000, you invest $500 every single month for 30 years at that same 8% average return. You put in $180,000 of your own money over those 30 years, but the account does not have $180,000 in it. It has over $680,000. Almost $500,000 of that came from compound growth alone, from money making money in a cycle that never stops. The cruel irony of compound interest is that it rewards patience more than intelligence. You do not need to be a genius investor. You do not need to pick the right stocks. You just need to start early, stay consistent, and leave your money alone long enough for the compounding to work its magic. The biggest mistake people make is waiting. Every year you delay costs you far more than you realize, because you're not just losing 1 year of growth, you're losing all the years of compounding that would have grown from that first year. Start now, even small amounts. The time is always now. Here's something I want you to hold on to, because we're coming to a rule later in this video that most financial channels never talk about openly. It's the rule that actually determines whether everything else works or falls apart. Stay with me because it's coming. Rule number 4 is build multiple streams of income. Daniel used to think that having one good job was enough, and for basic survival it might be, but for real wealth, depending on a single income stream is like building a house on one pillar. It stands until something shakes it. One layoff, one health crisis, one company downsizing, and everything collapses. Wealthy people historically have always had multiple ways that money comes to them. This does not mean you need to quit your job and start 5 businesses tomorrow. It means you need to think strategically about how to add additional income layers over time. These layers could look many different ways. It could be dividend income from stocks, where companies pay you simply for owning shares of their business. It could be rental income from a property. It could be a side business that runs part-time. It could be digital products, freelance work, interest from savings accounts, royalties, or even a small online presence that generates advertising revenue. Marcus had 3 streams of income by the time he was 35. His salary was the first, dividends from his investment portfolio were the second, and a small rental property he bought in his early 30s was the third. None of those secondary streams were huge individually, but together they created a cushion of financial security that most people never feel. And more importantly, when he retired at 45, those streams did not stop. His salary stopped, but the dividends and the rental income kept coming. That's what true financial independence looks like. Your money keeps working even when you stop. Think about your own life right now. Where could a second stream of income realistically come from? It doesn't need to be dramatic. Even an extra few $100s a month from a side income invested consistently can grow into something extraordinary over time.
Rule number 5 is protect your wealth before you grow it. This is the rule almost every beginner ignores. People get excited about investing, about growing money, about the thrill of watching their portfolio climb, and they pour all their energy into that. But they completely skip the step of protecting what they are building. Protection comes in several forms. The first and most urgent form is an emergency fund. Before you invest a single dollar in the stock market, you need 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a stable, accessible savings account. This is your financial shock absorber. When the car breaks down, when the medical bill arrives, when you lose your job unexpectedly, the emergency fund means you do not have to sell your investments at a loss or go into debt. You just reach into the fund, handle the problem, and rebuild it. Daniel learned this lesson the hard way. In the early days of his financial transformation, he was so eager to invest that he skipped building an emergency fund. 6 months later, his transmission failed on his car and he had to pull $2,000 out of his investment account, which happened to be down at the time, meaning he sold at a loss just to cover an emergency. That single mistake cost him more than the car repair. It cost him years of future growth on that money. The second form of protection is insurance. Health insurance, life insurance if you have dependents, disability insurance if your income depends on your physical ability to work. These are not exciting financial products. Nobody feels thrilled paying insurance premiums. But insurance is the wall between a financial setback and a financial catastrophe. Protect first, then grow. Rule number 6 is master your mindset around money. This is the rule people underestimate the most, and it might be the most powerful one of all. Your bank account is a reflection of your beliefs about money before it is a reflection of your effort. Think about that for a moment. Most people carry invisible stories about money that were planted in childhood. Things like money is hard to get, rich people are greedy, wanting more money is selfish, I'm just not good with numbers. These beliefs operate quietly in the background, and they shape every financial decision you make without you realizing it. If deep down you believe that money is dangerous or that wealthy people are bad, your subconscious mind will find ways to sabotage your financial growth. You will unconsciously overspend. You will avoid learning about investing. You will feel guilty when you save. You will self-destruct just before reaching a financial milestone. Daniel noticed this in himself. Every time his savings account started growing past a certain point, he would suddenly find a reason to spend it, a new gadget, a trip, a treat-yourself moment. It took him a while to realize this was not random. It was a pattern driven by an underlying belief that he did not deserve to have money sitting there growing. The moment he identified that belief and consciously replaced it with a healthier one, his savings began to grow consistently for the first time. Your financial education is important. Your financial mindset is equally important. Read books about wealth psychology. Study how wealthy people think differently about money. Surround yourself with people who have healthy, growth-oriented relationships with money. Your mindset is the foundation that every other rule is built on. If the foundation is cracked, nothing built on top of it will stand for long.
Rule number 7 is the one I promised you earlier. The rule that quietly determines whether all the other rules work or collapse entirely. It is this: live below your means permanently, not temporarily. Almost everyone thinks of frugality as a phase, something you do when you are broke, something you do when you are saving for a specific goal. And then once you hit the goal or once the income improves, the frugality goes away and the real spending begins. But the truly wealthy people, the ones who actually reach financial independence and stay there, they never outgrow living below their means. It is not a sacrifice to them. It becomes an identity, a permanent operating principle. There's a famous book called The Millionaire Next Door, and it studied the actual spending habits of millionaires in America. What the research found shocked most people. The average millionaire does not live in a mansion. They drive a modest car. They shop carefully. They avoid unnecessary debt. They live in average neighborhoods. They do not look like what movies tell you a millionaire looks like, because the movies show you people spending wealth. Real wealthy people are busy building it, and you cannot build it and spend it at the same time. Marcus drove the same car for 11 years, not because he could not afford a new one, because he knew that every dollar he did not spend on a car was a dollar growing in an investment account that would be worth $3 or $4 10 years later. Every purchase is not just its price tag, it is its price tag plus everything that money could have become if invested. When you start seeing your spending through that lens, your relationship with money changes forever. You do not feel deprived by choosing not to overspend. You feel smart. You feel powerful because you know what you are building. Now we have reached the moment I hinted at right at the beginning of this video. The real reason most people never follow these 7 rules even after they hear them. It's not ignorance. After today, ignorance is no longer your excuse. It's not lack of opportunity because these rules work on any income level. The real reason is urgency, or more precisely, the lack of it. The human brain is wired to respond to immediate threats and immediate rewards. It is very bad at taking seriously something that will not matter for 10 or 20 years. Saving money today feels like a small, invisible sacrifice for a future that feels abstract and far away. Spending money today feels real and immediate and satisfying. And so, day after day, the brain chooses now over later. And the years pile up, and one day you're 50 years old wondering where the time went and why your financial situation is not where it should be. The unlock is this. You need to make the future feel real and urgent today. Sit down and actually calculate where you will be in 20 years if nothing changes. Write it down. See the number. Feel the weight of it. Then calculate where you could be if you start applying these 7 rules consistently starting this week. See that number too. The gap between those 2 numbers is your urgency. That gap is why you cannot wait until next month or next year. That gap is why today is the right moment to start. Daniel did this exercise, and the results were so jarring that he printed both numbers out and kept them on his desk at work. One was a version of his future he was terrified of. The other was a version he could not stop dreaming about. Every financial decision he made after that was filtered through one simple question. Which future does this choice move me toward?
Now, here is what I want from you, and this is important. Think about the 7 rules we just walked through together. Think honestly about which one you are currently the weakest at. Is it the mindset piece? Is it the multiple income streams? Is it that you do not have an emergency fund in place yet? Whatever your honest answer is, I want you to write it in the comments right now. Just one rule, the one where you know you have the most room to grow. Write it down. I read every single comment on this channel, and I personally reply as often as I can. Your comment might just start a conversation that changes your trajectory. I am genuinely waiting for your answer down there. If this video gave you something valuable, I want to ask you a small favor. Think of one person in your life, a friend, a sibling, a partner, someone who is working hard but struggling financially, someone who deserves to hear these 7 rules. Send them this video. Just share it directly. You might not realize how much that simple act could change their life. The best financial gift you can give someone is not money, it is knowledge. And if you are not yet subscribed to Money Mentor, now is the moment. We are building something special on this channel. Every video we release is crafted to give you real, honest, practical financial knowledge, without the jargon, without the confusion, and without anyone trying to sell you anything. The next video is already in the works, and it covers something that very few people understand about the early stages of wealth building, and it could save you years of wasted effort. Subscribe now so you are there when it drops. Remember this above everything else. Wealth is not a destination you arrive at suddenly. It is a direction you choose to walk in every single day. The rules exist. The path is clear. All that is left is your decision to walk it. I will see you in the next one.